Sad times, sad times. We are saying goodbye to our sofa. We've had this sofa, and I'm not going to say how long we've had this sofa because it would be quite embarrassing to say, but we've had it quite a while, and everyone is really sad. Caitlin is sad. She's holding back the tears. Grace is sad. She's holding back the tears. And Charlie, well, she's just a blubbering wreck. And Kerry, she's just lost for words. Monday morning, and it's a bit of a damp morning. Been to the gym. It's a leg day today, so my legs are absolutely shot. A few things I've got to get done today. Got to do some investing and some casting of some little motifs for a client, and I've also run out of argon for the puck. We ran out on Friday. Didn't really need it Friday. Saturday we got by, but Monday today we're gonna need some argon for the rest of the week. But first of all, coffee. Can't beat a cup of coffee perking you up first thing on a Monday morning. So I'm upstairs now, just doing some of the investing. Looks like I'm making a Victoria sponge, but it's not. The harder and the more you beat this investment, I've got 1.5 pounds of investment in here. That's 24 ounces or 680 grams of investment powder. I've got 274 milliliters of just slightly tepid water, and I really need to get this mixed. I've got 9 minutes to mix it, to get rid of all the air bubbles out of it, pour it into the flask, get rid of the air bubbles again. I've got 9 minutes to do all this, and we have to make sure that we mix this for around about 2 minutes. So we got that nice and smooth. We normally do this for around about 2 minutes. We're going to put this into the vacuum chamber, and that is going to get all of the air bubbles that happens to have been put into this mixture out. So we're going to put that onto our investment table here. Put the lid on. Make sure that is nice and central. Okay, let's turn the machine on. That then should come right up to the top of our flask. Now, because we've poured it, we may have introduced some air bubbles, and also there may be some air bubbles trapped around the wax models. Now we're going to put it back to get all those air bubbles back out in the vacuum chamber to remove all those bubbles for the second and last time. Just going to let it dry for an hour, and in the meantime I've turned on my little Argon kiln. We've already got the Argon kiln programmed, so it's going to rise in temperature. It's going to hold it at a certain temperature for an hour to allow all the wax to come out of that almost like plaster mold. Then it's going to ramp up the temperature at a certain rate till it gets to another certain temperature, then it's going to hold it, and so forth. And I'm going to come back later on throughout the day just to update you on how hot this kiln's going. But in the meantime, this has got 1 hour to dry. We normally do this in one day. It's a smallish flask. We can normally get this done. If it's a bigger flask, but then we'd have to use this big bad boy, this burnout kiln, and then the cycle to remove all the wax. That's why it's called the lost wax casting method, because you basically lose the wax from the mold. We'll use this bad boy then. If it was a bigger flask, it's a lot bigger. The flasks are bigger, and also the burnout cycle is a lot longer. But for a little flask like this little Argon kiln is just right. Okay, I'm off now to get my argon gas. Guess who forgot the car this morning? Being very healthy, I walked to work. When I got into work, I was greeted by the empty argon gas bottle. And I remembered then I was supposed to bring the car to work. It's a shame it was leg day in the gym. Oh, my legs. The weather forecasters say we're going to be getting a lot of hot weather coming up from the south, because this hurricane is drawing the hot air up. And to be honest, I don't mind the warm weather, but I really would like a bit of sun. He says this and the sun's just come out, but it's not planned on being sunny. It's supposed to be grey and overcast, but very warm. So I think that is going to be the end of our summer. It's only August the 20-something. The Air Products depot that we get all our oxygen from and our argon gas is literally a 10-minute, 15-minute drive from the shop. So it's not too bad should we happen to run out. But it's always an inconvenience regardless. Just as well I've been going to the gym, because those bottles are full of gas. How heavy's gas? Good question. No idea. But I'll tell you what, those bottles are damn heavy. So let's get back, connect it up to the puck, put my flask into the kiln, and then I've got to get on with some work. There we go, we've taken the sleeve off the flask and the rubber off the bottom. That's the wax sprue of the tree in the bottom. That's going to go downwards inside the kiln, and all the wax then is going to dribble out into my little tray there over the next few hours. So whilst the kiln now is virtually ready, it's around about 500 degrees. You've got about an hour to go. Although I'm going to cast it, to be honest, in about 30 minutes, and I just need to put some of the silver now into the little furnace that we've got here. This saves us so much time rather than just standing there with a torch melting the silver. So I've got some scrap silver, I've got a little bit of casting grain with it, a little bit of fine silver as well, just to raise that sort of quality a little bit. So I'm just going to put that into the furnace now, give it 20-30 minutes, and then we should be ready to cast it. And then we'll just simply turn it on. It can go to 1200 degrees. It's going to take it to 1000 degrees This is the temperature that it is now. As you should be able to see within a few seconds, it will start to ramp up and increase. When it gets to this temperature, we're ready to cast. So the temperature now is a fraction over 1,000 degrees. Let's have a look inside. Pretty hot indeed. So here we go, we're going to take out the flask from the kiln, put it into our Percast vacuum machine, take the silver from here, from the furnace, and pour it into the hole. Happy days. All of the silver down through it. We got a nice bright red button, and as soon as the heat has gone from that button, we're going to put it into our water. It's not very exciting, is it? It's not the most visually stimulating piece of casting. The best is to use the centrifugal casting, because that adds a little bit more excitement to the whole thing. But this is purely in there, it's sucking, you pour the metal in the top, it sucks it through. It's just not that visually interesting. But the result, fingers crossed, should be cool. Gym all done. Arms and shoulders and back today. And they're just got no energy at all. It's only a couple of days now before we leave for Canada. And I have got, I haven't shaved again, oh no. And I have got a lot of work I gotta get on with. It's always the case. As strange as what it may sound, okay, I don't usually like going on holiday. Being, I'll say, self-employed, working for yourself. If you've got, if you haven't got a shop and you're just working on a bench, you can sort of work out when you want to take work in and so forth. And you can govern how busy you are, whether you accept jobs or not. But when you have, as we have here, like a retail shop, the customers seem to know when I want to go on holiday. Because a week before, and I never advertise it, right, because it's not the obviously done thing to do. But whenever I plan to go on holiday, the week leading up to it, we have so much work coming through that door. And yes, I am lucky because I've got Jason who does a lot of the work as well, and I got Mary and Sharon who keep the shop running like clockwork. And it's just one of those things. The week leading up to my radios, come on. The week leading up to me going on holiday, it's just chaotic. And we've even booked in a rep for today as well. I must be mad, absolutely mad. But I've got a good team behind me. They are going to make sure that everything runs like clockwork whilst I'm away. This is going to be one more day in work. I got 2 weds to do. 2 wedding bands to do. Got to get finished because when I come back in a fortnight's time, there's only a few more days left before the wedding, so I need to get them finished before I go away. It's just one of those things. Anyway, I'm very strange. I'm not a normal person. What normal person doesn't like going on holiday? Exactly. All right, let's get cracking on with it. I got my coffee here. Oh, my glasses here.